Dobro večer, poštovani gledalci. Dobrodošli u finale televizije OBN. Ovog vikenda Mostar će biti u centru pažnje. Red Bull Cliff Diving i ove godine stiže u ovaj hercegovački grad i zaista je prelijepo gledati skokove. Ko nije bio u Mostaru kada je Cliff Diving na programu, zaista ne zna šta propušta, tako da ovog vikenda preporučujem da odete do Mostara i pogledate. Sve to izgleda zaista spektakularno. Za početak pogledajte zapravo šta je Cliff Diving. Vidjeli ste kako to otprilike izgleda. Jedan od najboljih legendarnih skakač Cliff Divinga, legendarni takmičar Cliff Divinga, Orlando Duque iz Kolumbije. 10-rostruki svjetski prvak, 6-rostruki pobjednik Red Bull Cliff Divinga, dvostruki vlasnik Guinnessovih rekorda i on je večeras u mom studiju. Orlando, warm welcome on TV OBN. How you feel in Bosnian capital?
It's always great to be back in Bosnia. I have such a great time, so, just really happy to be back again.
You got even saw some football game here in Sarajevo, yeah?
Yeah, I arrived just in time to watch the game against Sarajevo Olympic. It was good. It was interesting. It was good energy. I had a pretty good time.
In this short intro on Bosnian, I told my viewers about your great career. Are you really satisfied with your career?
I'm really happy and really proud of my career. I've achieved a lot of titles, championships, medals.
Quite impressive, all that.
Yeah, but in my mind, I'm thinking about the next one. I'm never thinking about the ones that pass. I mean, I enjoy it every now and then, but when it's my preparation, I'm actually thinking about this Saturday competing in Mostar. I want to win there. So as much as I enjoy it, as much as I'm really proud, I'm not, all the time thinking about the previous titles. I want to see the ones that are in the future that I want to win.
Does that mean that you don't have any regrets during your careers?
There are some competitions that you wish it went a different way.
Yeah.
Like, for example, last year my result in Mostar wasn't very good. When I have so much support from the people, I feel like a local, and to not give a good result for me is like, I wish I could have done better. So at least I get to come back, do it again this year, and hopefully erase that from.
We will see what happens on Saturday. Before you managed to do all this during your career, did you think about it? Did you believe it that you will made it all that success?
I don't know for other people, but for myself, I've always enjoyed my sport so much that for me is I want to compete. I want to go to the next event, And I enjoy even the preparation, which is the most boring part, having to do the practice, how to do all the work. I enjoy all of that, but I never thought it was going to go to this. When I started, it was a smaller event. We have 1 or 2 events a year. And, you prepared the whole year for those 2 events. Luckily now we have a full series. We have Red Bull Cliff Diving, we have World Championships, World Cup. We have so many events that, if you tell me 20 years ago it was going to be this big in 2016, I wouldn't have believed it.
What is that was attracted you to cliff diving? Most of people see fears of heights, fears of water, and so on.
I started doing diving first. I did Olympic diving for 10 years. And as a kid, I liked just running in the water and jumping in. That was a lot of fun. And then I did the training. I dived from 1, 3 meters, 5, 10 meters, the regular pool diving.
Yeah.
But after so many years, it's the same. It's nice, but it's the same. And I wanted to do something more challenging. And cliff diving was that, that next step. It's the same sport that I loved since I was a kid, but it's just so much more challenging. It's so much more exciting.
What is the best thing in cliff diving? It is that are destinations or, I don't know, adrenaline?
The best part is to feel the speed when you're falling. You are in complete control of the dive. I know exactly what I'm doing. I decide what's going to happen, how I'm going to do it. And if it works, then it's my decision. If it doesn't work, then it's my mistake. In terms of the locations, we travel around the whole world. We go to nice cliffs, we go to really
Incredible
nice
places.
bridges, and you're in real contact with nature. It's a really nice connection. I don't use any equipment to do my dives. It's just me and my body. I think that's the best part of it.
I read somewhere that when you were a child, you didn't like water at all.
I like to be in the pool. I like to be playing. I've never liked to take a bath. My mom always have to chase me around the house and take me and force me to bathe. But I love to play around. I love to play in the river. I love to play in the pool. I think that's what, when I started diving, it really got me hooked. I wanted to be in the pool.
At the first sight.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love when I look at the diving pool next to the swimming pool, that deep blue, that darker blue, it's really attractive. It kind of draws me in. So I think from when I first saw the pool, I went like, this is what I want to do.
What is the most important thing to be successful in sport like this?
Technically you have to be very good so that you can control your body. The dives we're doing are very, very difficult dives, and you have to be technically very good. Once you have that technique, of course, you have to be strong. But for me, the biggest part is the mental part. When I'm standing 27, 28 meters high, looking down, my mind is telling me, be careful, you're going to kill yourself. So you have to be able to overcome that. Mentally, you have to be very strong too.
How do you train that mental strength?
I do a lot of visualization, so I see myself doing the dives, and then in my head I can play it really fast, and I know I can do it. Then that moment I can overcome that fear, and I know I'm ready to do the dive and actually jump and execute it.
So physical and mental part are both very important, huh?
Very, very important. It has to work at the right time, and it has to work well. You cannot be just strong mentally and think you can do this. Physically, you have to be, strong so that you can handle the impact with the water.
Can you describe the moment just before a jump? Do you feel any fear? What do you think about at all?
The walk to the place where
I tried the simulation with the glass on, and it's pretty scary.
It's interesting. It's interesting, and you're just standing. So, like for me, the walk to the platform, I'm thinking about the dive. In my head, I'm playing the dive. I'm doing this visualization, I tell you, and I start to get really excited. Like my heart beats faster. I'm breathing faster. When I get on top of the platform and I'm ready to dive, those 5 seconds just before, when I've done all my mental preparation, everything is calm. I don't feel nothing. I don't hear nothing. I don't feel nobody. I'm just focused on my dive. I'm looking down. I know what's that first step I need to do. Next thing, I'm in the air.
That's really interesting. More or less, everybody once had a nightmare when falling down from some heights, or I don't know. You do it on the daily basis. You do it for fun.
You dream and you're falling and you wake up really startled, The difference is I'm in complete control of my dive. I'm making everything happen. So
Yeah.
I know what's coming, I know what's next, I see the water. When you dream of that or when you have that feeling of falling and you're not under control, that's the worst thing, even for me, because that's happened to me a few times. And when you don't know where you are, when you're not in control of the dive, it's the worst feeling you can have while falling.
Yeah. What do you do to keep your body fit all these years? What kind of training is that?
You know, in general, it's the basic training of any athlete. You have to do a lot of cardiovascular training just to be fit, not just for the competition, but for traveling, for meetings, for all the other things that come around. In terms of strength, well, we have a little bit more specific training, like for the legs, for the core. You know, in the air, we don't have any support, so you have to use your core to do all the movements. Mental preparation for sure. You know, a lot of stretching, trying to manage the training curves really good so the body can recover and be ready. So, I mean, this is a job. It's a full-time job. It's not. I think when I started, it was like a passion I had. It was still amateurish. Now it's a profession. Now I do this full-time. In between competitions, I'm training. At the end of the season, I do a pre-season just like any other professional athlete.
Is it mental strength that what makes difference? Who is better?
I think in the big picture, yes, because all the divers are very strong.
Yeah.
All the divers have very good technique.
Yeah,
That's
of course.
there.
So,
But who can handle the pressure better?
Yeah.
The pressure of the day of competition, the pressure of other divers doing a little bit better, even the crowd, the elements. It can be really hot, really cold. It can be windy. So who can handle that pressure better? And that comes from the mind. That comes from the head. That has nothing to do with your body.
What do you think about commercials?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Poštovani gledalci, idemo na reklame. Nakon toga vraćamo se razgovor sa našim gostom večeras, Orlando Duque. Govorit ćemo o onome što se dešava u Mostaru predstojećeg vikenda, to je Red Bull Cliff Diving. Vraćamo se nazad u studio finala televizije OBN. Razgovaramo sa Orlando Duqueom, legendarnim skakačem Red Bull Cliff Divinga. To je moj večerašnji gost. Orlando, which one was the scariest jump that you made?
Well, I've done a few. You know, I've done a few. I did one from a waterfall in Austria that the pool was very small, so I have to make sure I was jumping in the right place because it wasn't so deep. That was a little bit scary. It wasn't so high, but the scary part was a small pool. I did another project in the Amazon a couple of years ago, and the dive itself, again, it wasn't too dangerous. Let's say it was a standard 28 meters, nice and deep water. The thing is, we're diving into the Amazon River,
Yeah.
and you don't know what's in there. You know, it's really murky.
You really
water.
don't know.
Exactly. You hit the water, and I mean, you have your guides and you have your safety people, but you can't see anything. And
Did you find any deadly fish or something?
we went
Snake.
fishing. We fished for some piranhas,
Yeah.
and then we ate some of them. We grilled some of them.
Are
it
they
was
tasteful?
interesting. Yeah, it tastes pretty good, you know. But you know, those situations are, I know I can control the dives. It's just what's around it. When I have to dive, how small the pool is, how far the jump is. That's what makes dives really
I read
challenging.
somewhere about jump from helicopter above the Statue of Liberty.
That's probably one of the most exciting dives I've done. Diving from a helicopter is not so easy, you know, because of course you don't have a stable platform.
Yeah.
The height is not exact. You know, they tell you this is about this high. And of course the turbulence from the rotor, you feel it. You feel it as soon as you jump from it. So you have to be really comfortable doing the dives. However, you cannot put it into words. Taking off at 6 a.m, flying through Manhattan, you know, the Statue of Liberty in front of you.
Yeah.
You open the
That's a
door of the
great shot.
helicopter.
Oh.
It's just such a cool feeling. I mean, amazing that I get to do something like that.
And what is the most beautiful place that you have ever done?
Well, this is a few places, you know. I live in Hawaii, so we have really nice cliffs there.
Honolulu. Yeah.
Yes, I love, there's just a nice coastline, just nice water, you know, good temperature. Thailand, we had an event in Thailand a few years ago, and it's It's so beautiful. It's just nice that you find so many places to jump from. I think that's the best part of our sport. It takes us to such beautiful places that, I mean, you know, you can't believe you're doing your sport there.
That's a really very important part of that sport. Locations.
It is, you know, because in reality, all we need is a high cliff and deep water. We don't need nothing else. We're ready to dive, you know? So most time natures provide just that. You find a nice cliff, whether it's a river, a lake, in the sea, you find a location like that and we're ready to perform, you know? You don't need crazy things to start doing your sport.
Step by step we came to the Mostar. That's the on this Saturday, Old Bridge Diving. What about Mostar?
You know, I came to Mostar for the first time in 2005. They were doing the traditional diving competition. It was the reopening of the bridge. You know, they rebuilt it. It was a really nice celebration. And since then, I fell in love with Mostar and with Bosnia. I've been here almost every year. And I like that the tradition of diving has been kept for so long there, you know. I'm very passionate about my sport, and I've been doing it for about 30 years. It's a tradition of over 400 years there. You know, that for your sport is really important, is really special.
What do you think about Lasta style of jumping? Lasta, like the people in Mostar do.
I think it's really interesting, you know. For example, myself, I've never done a dive.
Would you try
head
it?
first? No.
Really?
No. I think it's very dangerous. I think you need to know exactly what you're doing. And I'm not really trained for that. You know, I've trained for my dives, so I'm not really trained for that. And that gives me a lot more respect for what they do. You know, I understand my sport. I know how dangerous it is, and I know how dangerous it is what they're doing. However,
what is the most dangerous part in that jump, that style of jump?
I mean, the most dangerous part of our sport is the water entry. You know, the impact, because it's so strong from that height. But when they're doing that dive, they have to control their body through the whole flight. You know, if you miss the control, if you lose control of your body, you're not gonna regain control before you hit the water, and it can be really bad. Also for me, I dive feet first, sorry. So my legs are much more stronger than my arms, you know, and they do it head first. This is something that, you know, it's a lot of respect. Honestly, I've told them every time, I tell them, like, I can't believe you guys do it. But, you know, they do it because it's a nice sense of freedom. They choose to do it. They know they can do it. It makes them feel powerful, and it shows they are.
It's just great to look you and how you explain those things. This is the 6 stations in this season. You were at Texas, Copenhagen, Portugal, Italy, France, Wales, and now and before Japan and Dubai. Yeah? Mm-hmm. It's very interesting season.
It's a long season.
Yeah.
It's really good because, you know, the great thing about Red Bull Cliff Diving is, of course, the best diver is going to win, but you also have to be very consistent. You know, it's a long season. The body is going to hurt. You know, it's going to hurt. So you have to be prepared for all of that.
What means that body is going to hurt?
Oh, you know, during the summer, we're diving almost every weekend. Even if we're not in Red Bull Cliff Diving, we're at other events. So we're diving almost every weekend. And compounding, like all those dives, you're going to start feeling it
Leave
in your
the marks,
body. And you know it. Like, I know that my legs are going to hurt. I know that my back is going to hurt. And I have to be prepared. So it's interesting. It's the first time, I think, we've done so many events in one year. I'm curious to see what the end looks like. Right now is looking really good. Mostar could be a turning point, which is nice.
We are used to see Orlando at the first place, second place, but this season you are 4th, 5th. What's happening, man?
You know, it's
these young guns are great, huh?
A few things. I turned 42 years old a week ago.
Yeah, I know the story about the age.
So that's number one, I'll say. You know, it's natural. It's the way things happen. You know, as we age, we're gonna decrease a little bit. I had a really good season last year. I won the World Cup. I was second in the World Series. This year I started a little bit slow, and then I had a small injury in France. So that's been keeping me from training as much as I would want to. I'm in 5th place right now, and I'm trying to make up ground from here until the end. It's tough, but it's not impossible. Main goal right now, of course, I started wanting to win. It's looking really tough. But the main goal right now is qualify for next year, do a better preparation, and hopefully come back stronger. But diving next to people that are 10, 15 years younger than me, and I'm still able to handle, I'm still very proud of that.
Gary Hans is one of them. He's great this season. He's first in overall standings.
You know, Gary is just, in the last few years, has shown great things. I mean, great diving. Pressure doesn't faze him. He's ready for anything. Anything you throw at him, rain, cold, wind, anything, he just stands up and performs. This year he's had a few hiccups. He's still leading the series. I know there are some guys that are pretty close, but I know it's going to be good all the way until the end. That makes it interesting. It makes the sport interesting too.
Jonathan Paredes last year was first in Mostar, yeah?
Jonathan won in Mostar last year, and he won the first competition of this year.
Yeah, and he's second in overall standings.
He's second place. He's still, Gary has a little bit of a lead, but you know, still 3 competitions to go. Anything can happen.
What is your expectation for Saturday? This big announcement I want to hear.
You know, expectation is to have everybody in Mostar watching. I know they love diving. I know they follow the sport. It's a diving tradition. We really look forward to that great energy they bring. It's going to be a good competition. You know, first time we have a World Series of women. They're going to be competing as well.
That's interesting, really.
It's a really nice element. You know, they're doing big dives. Their season is an interesting fight going on too. So that's going to be good. And the men, you know, the season could be actually decided in Mostar. It could be pretty close to Gary securing the title, or pretty close to second place, getting closer to Gary and making it a good fight all the way until the end. So in terms of strategy, competition, show is going to be great.
After Mostar, you have 2 more competitions, Japan
and Dubai.
Yeah. Did you jump before in Japan? I saw that cliffs, they really looks amazing.
I've been to Japan, I've been to the location, never jumped at the location. I went to do a helicopter dive, but never jumped from the location. It looks fantastic. I think it's going to be difficult because if conditions are rough, the sea is going to be very, very rough. Windy, it can get pretty windy too, so got to go ready for everything. Dubai, I've never been there. Nobody has. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be first for everybody. And I know it, you know, being the end of the season, if there's still a good fight going on for the top 5 places, that's going to be the decisive point.
Thank you very much, Orlando. I wish you all best in Mostar on Saturday. You have a lot of fans here in Bosnia.
Thank you very much. I'm really happy to be back here.
Poštovani gledalci, moj večerašnji gost je bio Orlando Duque, legendarni skakač i imat ćete priliku da ga uživo gledate ovog vikenda u Mostaru. To bi bilo sve u večerašnjem izdanju finala televizije OBN. Sa vama smo ponovo narednog četvrtka u isto vrijeme. Doviđenja.